Hey, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
On this week's episode, we cover a lot of ground. Evan has a few absolutely amazing knowledge bombs, and I ramble on and on.
I'm going to teach you how to drink 3 liters of water, guaranteed every day with no problem. And we talk about how Mark is really the Hulk and why.
What are you doing?
Watching the Something to Prove podcast. No, Hard Things podcast.
You're listening to Josh York.
Yeah, it has potential, dude. Pisses me off, but it has potential.
It pisses you off because we're not there yet?
You know what it is? Here's what and then the YouTube channel I want to barf all over it because it's so close, but then it's so
because it only gets 3 hours of my 4 hours of my time a week, right?
You know what the thing is? Here's the problem. The problem with ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Something to Prove podcast. Where Mark and I talk
this is how we start conversation.
Our lives every day. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyway, your song is so good.
No. Don't worry. Are you talking about for the opening credits and stuff or no?
The song, yeah, the opening on YouTube and on your Instagram, IGTV, it's so good. And so the intro is great where you do a coming up clip and the music's like it's bubbling behind, it's coming, it's coming. And then after the key point, the music drops. It's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm coming alive. And then it just falls off a cliff right away afterwards. On the YouTube channel, you talk for 50 seconds.
48.
With no graphics. It's just
that's why I said the graphic package, meaning the opening. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm working
on
it. Long. You need to cut the language out for sure. That is not. Don't shake your head. It's garbage. You can't talk for 50 seconds on an intro clip. People. I love you, and I'm tuning out. I stopped halfway through that thing, and then just now I watched it back. Just okay. We do hard things, Let's go, Carmichael. You do difficult things. We can sit through Mark's intro.
See, this is the fun part about Evan. You talk to Evan, and Evan goes, launch. Yeah. Why aren't you launched? And I go, no, man, it's not there. Launch. That's Evan. And then so I launch, and then 4 weeks later, I get, oh, dude, I just want to barf all over. I know. No,
but I didn't say don't launch. You're like mixing
I know
things
there's
together
because I know there's a lot to fix. I know there's a lot to fix.
But this is all you. Like, you should know this, right? Like, don't talk for 50 seconds at the beginning of a video, right? Of the same intro, right? I mean, Drager, we know this. That's my frustration.
Okay.
On the IG,
I won't go through the different podcasts that I PHA'd and looked at and modeled after.
I don't care what you do on the podcast. You want to take it to YouTube and start getting views and attention and interest and traction. You can't do this.
Okay, we'll cut it down. I it also doesn't help that it's just a static frame up for 48 seconds.
Oh, no. It's just too much. It's just way too much. 50 seconds is just way too much.
Yeah, that can be cut down.
No, I know.
We're still rolling through your last feedback of update the thumbnails, which we've moved to color, but they still don't pop enough. So we need to do another round. I think we're going on to the 4th round of updates. That's fine. The biggest challenge I have with it is I only am able to focus 4 hours per week on it. So if it was my full-time thing, then I think a lot would change.
Well for you. I was just on with Jeff the other day.
Jeff is he is a sharp and smart guy.
It's so the music is so good and there's so much potential. It's like, oh my goodness, I am with you. I am loving this. This is fantastic. And then it's just this giant letdown afterwards. I know we're getting
it. We'll get it fixed.
IG is okay. IG is okay. I don't know what to say on IG. It's okay.
It's not sharp enough. It's not tight enough. Joshua isn't cutting out the spaces, the gaps. Like you could take that story and cut out all the little ums and the ahs and just tighten it up really, really nice. And then it would just be bang, 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 point.
There's still something missing. There's still the music is so I get the idea. And sometimes it's not this big bomb that drops when the music drops, but you're taking the best part and you're trying to
make there should be a yes, amen, brother when that thing drops. There should be.
Maybe that's either you asking better questions or Joshua doing better, scraping.
All of it. all of it we can do better.
Great. But still, there's still something that's missing after. Like I get that you can see how it could be great of the intro, the lead up, I don't know how long is that intro segment before the beat drops?
I don't know. It changes depending on how long the story is, but yeah, it should be like 20, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Max.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the music drops, but then and it's such a good part of the song. I love those songs, dude. It's such a powerful part of the song. Like, yes, I'm alive, right? It's amazing, dude. But it only goes up for like 2 seconds and then it immediately drops back down and then it just continues on with the story. And then it just falls apart. I don't know. We need to, I don't know what to suggest on that. IG's better than YouTube, but they're both like, oh, you can see the potential just coming out of it. It's just so close. Anyway, 50 seconds. Okay. Anyway. Like, dude, that's terrible. Okay, keep going. What are we talking about? What are we doing today, Drager?
Well, apparently we're just ripping apart all.
Let me tell you one other thing I've been doing since you don't, anyway.
I do have stuff to talk about, but
no, I know
okay.
you do. I know you do. I've been drinking 2 liters of water a day, but I'm supposed to do 3, at least 3. So here's what I did.
Okay.
I took 3 bottles. I took my 3 Whole Foods water bottles, and I put on the front. Oh, you can't really see. I just put a little sticky note on the front. This says coffee. Mm-hmm. This says coffee. This one says food.
Yeah.
Okay. These are both done.
So you drink one water bottle while you're drinking coffee, sleep, and another one while you're drinking food, and then
close.
Almost. That one is sleepy time, pee time.
Almost. So
pee time.
The coffee one is I need to drink this before I have my morning coffee. So I fill it up tonight. I'm going to fill it up
before you have your morning coffee. So
I got to drink a liter of water.
Evan, who didn't used to drink anything in the morning at all, and we went to Tony Robbins, and I was like, "Dude, you don't drink anything?" And you're like, "No," and I'm like, "Dude,
this is a huge hack." Okay, so 1 liter of water before I drink a coffee. Yeah, and then I'll have my coffee, and then I need to drink another liter of water before I have any food.
Oh, I'm parched. You're making me really thirsty.
In my system.
Do I have any tea? I have no tea left.
Anyway, so I've drank 2, and now I've got like a half left at least. So it's.
But this is like a huge improvement over. Again, when we went to Tony Robbins, I bought us food, and you took me down. I bought us food, and I bought us water bottles and stuff, and make sure you stayed hydrated and fed. And there was one point where we were like, okay, so you're running and you're jumping and you're sweating, and it's just like, even though it's cold, you're just burning through energy. And you had used, the listeners can't see, but he had used maybe like 1/5 of a little tiny water bottle, and I had already had like 9 of them. And I was like, dude, don't you drink anything?
Dude, as you're talking, I just hear the We Do Hard Things music behind you.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's worth watching just for the intro song. You can leave.
We'll get there. It bothers me. This bothers me a lot, actually, because I don't like the fact that we're burning through releasing content that I'm not 100% happy with. Like, we're releasing content right now that I would like to fix, that I want to fix, that we need to fix. The processes, the systems, and everything, and we're just releasing content.
Fix your part of it. You fix your voice 48-second intro. Fix that. That'll make me happy.
Sure.
Fix what you can fix.
Yes. You've given me the feedback. I will fix it.
It's very exciting.
But no, it bothers me that like all these great conversations I'm having with all of these amazing leaders, that their video, them being on the We Do Hard Things podcast, that's up on YouTube, that's out, that's released into the world. I mean, I can have them back a second or third time, but I can't go back in, delete that video, fix it, and re-release it. It's going to live forever.
It's fine. You're fine.
Not
You're fine.
Perfect, which really bothers me.
You're okay, Drager. You're fine.
Doesn't that bother you? It bothers perfectionists like me, recovering perfectionists.
Ongoing. Listen, everybody's a perfectionist.
Yes. I like that we can change thumbnails. I like that we can change titles. I like that we can do those things. But it just bothers me that YouTube won't let you replace.
It's still way better that you put it up. You dragged your feet for so long getting this thing up. Just put it up with no package.
And it's still not there yet.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, this is a big hack, guys. Take your water bottles, put them up the night before, put coffee, put food, and sleep, whatever the 3 things are, that before you can have your coffee, you got to drink a liter of water.
So you drink a liter before you go to bed? or you just have to have
Like
had
I'm already,
it before.
listen, it's 3:00 now. I'm already halfway through my sleep one. Just basically by the, I don't know what the last thing is.
Okay.
There's no last thing.
Well, because you shouldn't drink a liter of water right before bed, I would say, unless you plan to get up a lot during the night.
I think really this one doesn't even really need to have one. If water's in front of me, I'm going to drink it.
Yeah. Yeah. But if anything's in front of me, food's in front of me, if water's in front of me, I will drink it. I will sip it. I will eat it.
But I never would have a liter of water before coffee in the morning. So now we switch it. 1 liter.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a hack. So this is water. So I actually pour it in.
Yeah, I didn't have, my computer was crashing. Everything was going on. I didn't have time to fill up this cup.
Okay, we're 12 minutes into this show. What are we talking about?
What? What are we talking about? You talked about a whole bunch of random things.
Listen, sometimes I need to co-opt the show and bring up important things that I think matter.
But we're doing our mastermind call tonight, so you could have spanked me.
No, this is important
privately.
This is important on show conversation
to be able to get feedback. Okay. Well, anyway, so as we've spoken about the last few weeks, as we know, we're in season 4 of the Something to Prove podcast, where I wanted to talk about the build. But instead we talked about, my mental health conditions and therapy and all of this other stuff, which I will say that honestly, I got a lot of people on Instagram and on YouTube who reached out to me personally with comments because they've been listening. Mm-hmm. And they shared their own stories of working through similar things, mm-hmm. and were very encouraging. So first, I just want to thank everyone because
nice.
Those are the things you don't expect. Like I can think back through my life of all the things that I just never expected to go a certain way, or and certainly don't take for granted. But one of them is I do appreciate everyone dropping me a note or whatnot. So thank you very much. But quite honestly, I don't know if I'm in a bubble. I don't know how long it will last or whatnot. The last bunch of weeks, things have really been clicking. So, on the personal side, I'm rebuilding my routine and journaling and keeping, even to the point where it's like, I'm not sure if I even need to journal all the time anymore, but journaling, writing down the things that I'm learning, starting to connect dots. In terms of how I feel, like increasing output, which is amazing, stretching out my days and making them longer, which is great, feeling like things are good more often than not. And then on the business side, on Fanta side, things are hustling right now. Things are very, very, very busy, which is positive, which is great. We've pivoted the business over the last few years, but especially in the last 3 or 4 months since we've been using this new business model. We are literally all day, every day working in this new model and learning a ton. I said to Louis this morning, my COO, is like, wow, I feel like we've learned more in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And every time that we're like, oh yeah, there's that, we got to remember that. We drop it into the procedure. So because our old projects used to take 12 weeks to complete, and you'd have one type of project, and it might take a year or two to see that same type of project a second time. We were always inventing something new every single time and learning all of these lessons the hard way every single time. And it would take us many years to be able to go, oh, I've seen one of these before. But because we're in a business now where with our marketing, our consulting, all of our stuff, every month we're doing the same 8 steps every single month. Like the learning is just like ridiculously quick. And you can take those hard lessons. You may have a bad Tuesday and go, oh, I didn't think about that. But then a few Tuesdays later, when you're doing the same thing again, you remember it. It's in the system. So that's really, really exciting. So the team is exciting. The stuff we're doing at Fanta is exciting. Life is exciting. It's all great. It's all exciting. Everything is amazing.
And then?
There's no really and then yet because, I had a bad afternoon a few days ago. I think it was like Tuesday or something, but for the most part, things are clicking. They feel like they're gelling. They feel like they're working. And
we need drama here. What are we talking about? Nothing's happened here. What are we doing? What's the topic of the show?
Well, so here's the question.
Everything's great, guys. We'll see you next week.
Everything's great. Bravo. It's all amazing. No, I mean, I still am not sure how long I can trust that it will be that way, because it won't, and all of those things, and how I'll handle it in the future. But for right now, I'm living in this great little multi-week bubble of things really hustling, feeling really good, making progress. The biggest thing that has been shifting for me, and I was thinking about you this morning and about this, is I don't know, like I know, so I ran a business since 2006, whatever it was, 2015, 2016, 17, or whatever. I'm not happy with it. I start to pivot it. I start to grow. It wasn't challenging me. So we start to change the company. And then in 18, I got depressed. In 19, it was really hard. This summer, anyone who's listening knows how challenging the summer's been. But for the first time I would say maybe the last week or week and a half, I can actually picture what my role is, what I should be doing, what we will grow into, how this could work in 2 or 3 years. And I'm not afraid of it. And I'm not questioning it. I'm not worried about it. And so I think what's happened is I just now believe, and this is why I was thinking about you. Because I would ask, like, hey, Evan, how come I didn't used to do this? And now I can do it. In my head, I ask Evan in my head this, and Evan goes, well, now you believe that you can do it. And everything comes down to believe. And so I run podcasts in my head that I never even need to invite you to.
Great.
Because we just have those conversations and I can shortcut your answers. But yeah, so part of what I think I was struggling with over the last few years, but especially during the summer, was I knew that I've always wanted to build something bigger than myself. I want that, but I struggled to believe that, like, I'm the person to do it, that my idea or is good enough, or that people will pay for it, that I can build a team who also want to be there and help build it, and that I can find people who care about things as much as I care about things. And like you start to stack slowly all of these little hidden stories I tell myself and stack them all together, and it all just seems impossible. And then when I do have those breakthrough moments in the past and I go, oh no, but it can happen, I question, if I do all this work and we get there, will I even be good at it, or will I even like it? I think it was part your...
waiting for something. It's a lot of preamble.
Well, for the first time, I can see
it happening. Okay.
This is what my role is as a CEO. This is what's expected of me as a CEO. This is what I should spend my time doing. This is the best leverage time. Okay. And if I'm doing this and not doing all of these other things that catch us in small business, that catch us, doing a million different things, but all of those things that are good for today and good for getting paid distract you from what you're trying to build. I've never been able to figure out how to get from where I am today to where I want to be. I still haven't done that. I still need your help with that, but I know where I want to be now. I know where I want to be, and I know some of the steps I need to be put into place, and I believe that it can happen.
Welcome to season 4 of The Build.
So then the question becomes, if I believe in it, and I know the steps that I need to take to start putting things into place, should I get a little bullish? Should I get a little impatient? Should I get a little more aggressive with taking steps? Or because, I still don't know if I may be bipolar and have like manic depressive swings, and maybe this is a sign of mania and I might find a sign of depression in the future. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if I have borderline personality disorder, where I'm always glamming onto these things and gripping these things and never being able to be sure of who I am and what's going on in my personality and all these things. So maybe I'm just in a moment. Or can I trust that there is something to this, that it is real, that it can happen? That's what I can't get straight.
We'll figure it out.
Great. There's the podcast, guys. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome to my life. You know what I was thinking about? Have we talked about the Hulk?
Yes. I mean, you mentioned it in passing, where we talked about the different types of anger. And you said, are you this type of anger? Are you can you get yourself really angry and then go out for a run and burn it all off? And then you did mention, oh, you're like the Hulk.
And so the Hulk, he's a genius scientist. I forget his name.
His name is Dr. Robert Bruce Banner.
Yeah, Bruce Banner. Okay, so he goes from being genius scientist into crazy, raging, ultra strong, whatever.
Mean guy? Nice guy? Mean guy? Is he good or is he bad when he's raging?
At the beginning he can't control it, and then he learns to control it, and he can bring in. When he gets really upset, there's still moments where he can't control it, right? He just flies off the loose end and turns into the Hulk for bad, he just fights with his teammates and whatever. But for the most part, he can control it, and he turns into the rage guy when needed, right? When you need to go smash some bad guys, we don't need the scientist genius. We need the guy who's going to go, take the missile in the stomach and not die. I mean, so that's part one. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of turning it into a superpower, is that different pieces of Mark needs to show up at different times, and can we summon it or at least play with it to leverage the mood to do great things, as opposed to being upset at ourselves for not being the other guy when we need him, right? It's like, how do we control and leverage the different sides so that we're the scientist when we need to, and we're the Hulk when we need to, right? So he's a superhero. Mm-hmm. So that's part one. Like, that's how I see it, as being a superhero, not just angry guy is bad, and I don't like it. No, well, use it. Part two, though, is in the most recent one, whatever the most recent movie was.
Endgame? Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah.
He actually became one. So if you look at him, like, he was a normal looking dude who then becomes this giant green monster, right? And then he goes back to being a normal looking dude. It's just one or the other. In the newest one, which I didn't ever see in the comics, maybe it was there, or maybe it's a new edition, he's just a bigger green dude. Like, okay, he's between the two. He's still green, but he's not as green. He's like a mix between green and a white dude. And he's bigger than just a scientist, but he's not as big as the Hulk.
Okay.
So he's integrated. What's interesting, he's integrated both parts of his personality. And
so we can learn a lesson from this fictional superhero character.
One or two, right? Like, one, to see it, first step is to see it as a superpower, that depending on what zone you're in, it has different strengths and weaknesses, but we're only focused on the weaknesses, and everybody only focuses on the weaknesses as opposed to focusing on the strengths that it can bring you. Mm-hmm. And then part two is, can it be integrated in a way like he's done it?
You did send me a link to this great blog called eggshelltherapy.com, which is by Dr. Amy Lowe. I think she's a doctor. It doesn't say doctor, but she's a psychotherapist, art therapist, and consultant for emotionally intense and highly sensitive people. I imagine that makes her a doctor. Anyway, you sent me that great article, but one of the things that I noticed in her site was positive traits of BPT. And it's the first time that I've seen anyone list, like, hey, here are some really positive things about, again, I'm undiagnosed, so I don't know if I have it or not, but
caveat, Jesus Christ.
What?
Stop hedging. Keep going.
But I read through the whole thing and I was like, I don't know if I would, like, I struggled to accept all of them. But at the same time, I was like, okay, so there are ways that you can, of course, look, your greatest weaknesses are your greatest strengths, your greatest strengths, your greatest weaknesses. But that was a really good article. And even I asked Bo to say, hey, can we not get this doctor on the podcast, perhaps? So she's out of the UK, but maybe we can. Knowing that when you feel, myself or anyone, when you feel excited and bold and up and unstoppable, and on energy, you're going to have.
What's one of the ones she said that you can't connect to? A pro that you can't connect to?
A bunch of them challenged me to actually rethink. So just real quick. So going through them in this article that she wrote on eggshelltherapy.com. Positive trait 1, you have deep empathy. I think of myself as a pretty unempathetic person, but at the same time, I do know how sensitive I am. I do know that when I'm speaking with someone, like, their stories can bring tears to my eyes. When I'm watching movies, I cry all the time. So maybe I actually do have more empathy than I give myself credit for. Number 2, you're deeply perceptive. I would give myself that because I feel like I am a pretty perceptive person. You can channel your pain into art, which was number 3. Positive trait 4, you have a deep capacity to love. I do, but I only love the things that I love, and then it's very black and white. Number 5, you know what it means.
Okay, but it didn't say you have a deep capacity to love everything.
Whether or not you show it on the surface, people with BDP love and care with their whole being. They push-pull pattern and instability they have are a result of your trauma. Having been wounded deeply by abandonment, rejection, or neglect early in your lives, intimacy becomes a challenge. It's not that you don't want to love, but your fears and insecurities hold you back from being the best self you can be. You love fiercely and can be hurt deeply. So it can be challenging for you, especially at the start, to relax in a relationship. I've been with my wife for 20 years, so I can't remember that. But yeah, I'm still pretty insecure 20 years into our relationship about stuff. But positive trait 5, you know what it means to have an invisible trauma. So I guess you can relate to other people who are facing the same thing. Number 6, you see the beauty of the world. That's one that I guess I do. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do. Doesn't everybody see the beauty of the world? Don't they stop and take moments and go like, oh, look at the sunshine, look at these leaves? No? You're just listening. Great. Number 7, you may not feel it, but you're exceptionally resilient. That's one that I struggle to accept as well.
Take the art one. Could you write copy when you're angry?
Probably. I mean, I take the art one and instead I refunnel that to like how obsessed I am with the experience of things. You know, like I don't like going out and doing things. So I don't want people to think of experiences like, let's go hiking or let's go treetop trekking. I'm talking about the experience. And that's why I like copy, because the right words and the right tone with the right adjectives hits people in community like that. That's an experience you're giving someone.
Take the negative things that you associate with this, of like shifting self-identity and whatever the 6 things are that like are not what we like, right? They're not what we like. They're not what we're proud of. It's not what we want in our system. We love the boldness and the feeling confident and everything is possible and optimistic. Let's go run through that brick wall, which other people don't have, but we don't like, quotes,
I want to live there all the time. I want to like literally live every day. Like by the end of it, I've burned, like the fire is burned hot and fast.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But night and day, you need both, right? So you get that more than most people, and you get the other side more than most people. Great. The stuff that we don't like, this is where turning the Hulk into a superhero. If you have shifting self-image and you hate your life and like nothing's going to work out, and you don't know why anybody's still hanging around you, and you don't deserve any of this stuff, and you're just the biggest fake on the universe, right? Great. What if you wrote copy from that place? I'm serious. Like, could you write copy? Could you write a compelling ad, landing page from there? You think you could? Or are you just too lost that you can't get to the computer and do anything?
Writing really scares me. Like I hit on that this morning.
What's the answer, Drager? Just answer the question.
I don't think so. I don't think so because like today I spent 4 hours writing a page today, a single page for a client. I spent 4 hours on it, but I was supposed to do it Tuesday and I pushed it off to Wednesday. And then finally this morning I was like, I got to work on this.
Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday. Listening. And so like I owe you a brand new funnel. That every day I write my list. Every day it goes on my list.
You owe me something? What do you owe me?
I owe you a funnel. I know that next Wednesday when we're on our call, you're going to say, Mark, it's been a month. Where's this funnel?
Jesus.
And I'm going to go, see, you don't even remember that I owe you a funnel. I know that I owe you a funnel. This Monday I had to work on a different client page. The Monday before I had to, and I end the day with these terrible pages because it just reminds me how not good I like writing rough is like, oh, that was rough. There's no judgment. It was just putting it on paper. But writing the finished thing scares me.
So write rough then.
That's what I've been doing to get through the day. Just get a copy down. Just get a copy down.
No, not just because you're under a deadline and you promised it on Tuesday or last month and it's still not done.
Listen, man, like TDS, right? I had a conversation. We talked about this a bunch of weeks ago, right? I had a conversation with Alex about what he needed on a landing page. He wrote some copy. I rewrote it. And I did a rough job. Like I rewrote it without I didn't spend 7 hours agonizing painfully over everything. I spent maybe 45 minutes on it. And then I handed it back to you guys and you were like, oh man, this is garbage. I hate this. This is stupid. This is not Drager quality content. So this comes back to the like push pull of being your friend, like at the beginning of the podcast where you're like, release. And then we would start releasing and you're like, this isn't good. This isn't even good for Mark Drager.
Okay,
and
wait,
it's like, okay. Like those
I really
things...
look like a monkey when I do this.
Great.
I'm getting distracted because Mark's taking us off tangent.
I'm not. It's all the same thing.
No,
fine. Can I write angry? Can I write when I'm really, really down? Because I would be the most understanding and empathetic of other people who are really down. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think you even need to. I think so. When you're writing, when you're creating content, right? You're trying to put yourself in the minds of the person that you're connecting to, right?
Yes.
Like you want to understand their psyche, their disposition, their mindset.
100%. 100%.
Great. So when you're feeling up, bold, confident, it's a mental exercise to put yourself into the mindset of that person. When you're feeling low, worthless, weak, undeserving, you don't even have to have the thought. You just have to write from who you are. You don't have to think, what is this person thinking about? Because you're already just thinking that. So what I'm suggesting is you write your rough. Try it. Write your rough from that place and then come back and fix it and add the more, because that's going to be a depressing letter. That's going to be like, buy it, don't buy it, whatever. You hate your life anyway. You're such a worthless piece of garbage, but rough to get the emotion to then come back to it when you feel happy and tweak it and make it better. Like I think there might be something to that.
Maybe.
But it's not a finished copy that then you hand into somebody. That's why I said you're taking off tangent, because that's not the suggestion of write this and then give it to your client. No, but use that to tap into the pain so you don't have to pretend that you are the people looking at the website. You actually already are that person. And there's no mental exercise. You just write.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think
I'll have to see next time that I get really down. I mean, it's been like I said, I think on Tuesday evening but I was able to turn around. I had like a bad hour, but it's actually been a bunch of weeks since I've probably been in that place for more than a day.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if you do get there, then just default, go right. Go with, okay, what do I need to write? And not even think about it. Just go right. And then see what comes out. Super rough. I think you'll get, I don't think you'll get, you definitely won't get a finished copy because it's going to be sad and depressing and make people want to kill themselves. But you'll get some one-liners out of that or some sections that will be, oh my God, what did I tap into?
My phone is shutting down. Hold on. Oh. So now I have you on my old iPhone.
There's something in the BPD about being resilient or something. What was it?
Sure, you have resilience.
There you go.
Here's what I find interesting. So the podcast starts. You give us a little update. You say, Drager, what are we talking about? And then I start to explain to you what I'm thinking. Hold on, what I'm thinking. And that's all boring. Why can't we just do your topics more often than not? Like, let's just talk about what you want to talk about.
I don't have topics.
But you have things you were thinking about. You have things you want to talk about. You have lessons you want to impart upon me.
But when I do, I led with it. I wanted to talk about the intros and how it bothered me. And I wanted to talk about, what was the other thing I talked about? Oh, the water updates. I wanted to show you that. And then I'm waiting. And then it was like 15 minutes of preamble nothingness. So then we talked about the Hulk. And by the way, let me show you the Hulk. This is what he used to be, right? This is like scientist, super smart dude. And then Hulk, like out of control.
Is that Ruffalo?
Yeah.
What's okay?
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Okay.
So that's his scientist, super genius. And both of these guys serve their purpose and they're both great. We need both of them. Like stuff doesn't happen unless you have both of them for different roles. Right? Sure. It's not like he's the good guy and he's the bad guy, right? We need both of them to win. So that's belief system number one, right? You need both to win. And then he becomes this guy. So in the most recent one, he's this, or he's the scientist in control, but he's still giant and green.
Do you remember why or no?
I think he just learned how to handle it.
How to get big, but then stay calm and put on a pair of glasses.
He took the best of both worlds and smushed them together instead of having two totally different personalities.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because this guy was out of control.
And for me, you would like me to be able to not just understand the beauty of when I'm one way up or when I'm down or whatever it is, but you want me to mix somehow into the middle, which would just make me a normal person, no?
I don't know. I don't know. Stage 2, I don't know. Stage 1 for sure. Recognizing that both sides are valuable, are helpful, are beautiful, can be used and leveraged for two totally different things. The problem is in judging the other side and trying to do something, trying to ask this Hulk to do scientific stuff is not going to happen. And asking this guy to lift the car is not going to happen, right? So asking the right task from the right Mark is super important. Oh, his name is Mark. His name is Mark in real life.
Yes, the actor's name. The actor's name is Mark.
We just had a moment. This is Mark, guys. But whether you become this, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm curious about that. But this one for sure, because you only love this guy and you hate this guy. There you go.
Which one is when I'm up and which one's when I'm down?
The scientist is when you're up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the Hulk guy is when you're down.
Okay. Well then, yes, I prefer the scientist guy then.
And you
Man, I'm going to tell you, like.
But listen, scientist guy would probably suck at writing copy because you can't connect to the deep emotions. It's a mental exercise.
I don't know. It depends how positive and uplifting and optimistic the brand or the copy calls for.
Sure, but you have to be able to tap into the psyche of the customers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Mark, he's a Mark. You're a Mark. You know, that makes sense. Then that just
it's all coming together in the Evan Carmichael universe.
Yeah.
The ECU.
Yeah. No, that's good. Anyway, that's a good topic. That's a better thing to talk about. I like it.
Okay, but again, what did we learn having gone through this?
We learned that you need to appreciate the beauty of both sides of your personality. We're finding another way to attack it, to reinforce it, to make you realize it's a superpower, to give you another touch point. Because belief, this is where we're creating the bridge to cross the chasm. And this is another piece of that bridge. Because he's not there. Mark is still 88% planted on the wrong side of the chasm that we need to get him to cross. So this is another piece of the bridge. We've attacked it through my sheer belief. We've attacked it through research and articles. We've attacked it now through cinematic stories and analogies and examples. And we're going to continue to find examples, research, belief systems to push Mark to start flying across that chasm. Let's go.
And it starts by fixing that dang We Do Hard Things podcast introduction.
No, that's something else. It's so good. It makes me envious. I look at that like, oh my God, I love that. We need to up our game. And then it just falls apart and like, oh my God, we need to fix this. It's because I've seen it a couple times on your IG.
Yeah.
And then I'm so anticipating the letdown after that. Like, I don't want to watch it on IG anymore. And then the YouTube, I actually stopped watching it, right? And I forced myself before coming on to go watch it and actually time how long that intro was.
48 seconds.
Yeah. Way too long. Anyway, but there's definitely something there. Like if you tighten that up and maybe I don't really like intros typically, but the music is just so good. You could do something like take off your voice and just play the music at full blast. Damn, that's an intro.
It's a good song. It's a good song. I am pretty good at selecting music for to build a mood based off of the decades plus of editing and stuff I used to do.
Yeah, no, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. That was Anyway, okay, good. So what's next?
What I wanted to talk to you about today is, okay, so I believe in the future. I believe in what we're building. I believe in what we're going. what pace do I make these decisions? How do I trust whether they're I trust the order. They make sense to me, but how do I trust that now is a good time to start hustling and going, or should I wait?
What's the bigger, bolder step? You need to hire people?
Yes.
Okay. And how much of a setback is that going to be?
I don't know what do you mean? Like,
well, you got to play between, like, Fanta has been both. We're not hiring until we're just bleeding out of our eyeballs and we're just totally swamped and buried, right? There's been that version of Fanta. And then there's been we're going to hire in advance to build the company that we want to build and have all the people and then go off and get the clients, right?
Yes. So
it's closer to the first one.
Neither extreme.
Right. So it's closer to the first one is where you need to be.
Yes. So, I mean, listen, we're not going to make any hiring decisions before January because I told the team right now we're just trying to work out the capacity. We're trying to figure out the capacity and the economics.
Awesome. So then what's the bolder version that you're asking? What is my bold? Should I go bolder?
So my bold version is to through 21 sequence out, make sure that we right size the finances of it, but potentially even borrow money against hiring up to hire up the team. And right now we're at.
But you're not hiring until the new year anyway.
New year, yes.
So
which is only 5 or 6 weeks away. So
okay, so what's the bolder version? You're already planning out your finances.
That is the bolder version. The bolder version is hiring up and scaling. The not so bold version is going, right now the economy is being propped up by the government. We don't know what 21 will bring. Maybe things won't be so good.
Hire? Copywriter, graphics.
I have 7 people that I need, but I don't. It'll either be campaign manager, it'll be copywriter, or it'll be a graphic designer, or potentially a salesperson.
Okay, well that's the clarity. Like, who's the next person, and then go get that person.
Yeah, we're gonna make that decision in January. We're gonna I have the 7 people that I want. We're making the decision in January between Louis and I and Alex who what the order is. But there's 2 paths in front of me. I see a path where I spend the next 9 months to a year doing exactly what we're doing now, staying small, staying profitable, and just biding our time when we can then go, because we don't know what the economy is doing. We don't know all those months, or more aggressively through 21. Like either we hold tight through 21 to be ready for 22, or in 21 we proactively start banging out these milestones to hire up people.
You start with the next person. It's not go hire 7 people at once, and it's not hire nobody for the whole year. If you're growing and getting clients,
I'm not. Yes, I know, Evan. We're on the same page.
Okay, great. So, but then what's the question?
I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying
fully listening to what you're saying.
I'm not saying we're going to hire all 7 people in.
I know.
I'm saying it's a mindset. It's a mindset. Do I bet on myself?
I know. It's the mix in the middle. It's not the either or. It's in the middle and closer to the lean. It's not do nothing for 2021 and then prepare for 2022. And it's not go crazy in 2021 and hope that everything comes back. It's in the middle, but closer to the first one. Like
you want to know the quote? You want to know the quote up on my screen right now? Sometimes people with BDP seem to view the world as black or white, all good or all bad fashion.
Great.
I want to know which way. This is black and white to me. Well,
black and white is hire the next person.
I'm taking a bet on myself, and which means that I'm going to do some moves today. I'm going to do some moves now, hoping they'll pay off in the future, or I'm going to bunker down a little bit more and just focus on what we have, making it the best thing possible.
Great. It's the same question and it's still the same answer. Hire the next person. You are thinking about, should I do this or should I do this? And here are the 7 people I need to hire, but you don't know who the next person is that you need to hire. Like that's
because we're going to make that decision in January.
But if you want to go faster, which you can, then why can't you figure that out this week? Why do you have to wait till January? Why are you waiting 5 weeks?
Because we're running all of these campaigns right now and monitoring capacity, monitoring bottlenecks. Like we're literally running everything in real time. And in January,
what are you doing too much of that you shouldn't be doing?
Copy.
Great. So hire a copywriter for January. Put out the posting now and hire them for January.
You're not answering the question that I'm asking. You're not answering the question I'm asking you.
I'm answering the question you need to be asking.
Great.
There is no answer to the question you're asking, because that world doesn't exist. If you spend all of if you hunker down for 2021, you're gonna get super stressed, super frustrated that you're not growing, and you should be moving faster. And everybody on your team is gonna be stressed out because they're doing way too much compared to what they should be doing. If you go big and hire 3, 4, 7 people in 2021 to prepare for 2022, you're back to what you used to do of hiring too many people, growing too quickly, not having enough clients, and everybody being stressed out again. Neither of those are what you should do. The answer is, what is Mark Drager doing too much of? Copy. Great. Don't wait 5 weeks to put out your job. Post it now. Hire somebody for January to do the copy.
But it's not just what's Mark Drager do too much of. It's what does the Fanta system require most? Where will those dollars see the greatest output?
And the most important thing is getting things off of Mark Drager's plate, because he's behind on all of his copy projects.
I feel like we should just delete this entire episode.
Why? This is the exact answer. You're just asking the wrong question. That's what you need to do. The question should be, what should I do for 2021? This is it. You should hire a copywriter. That's your first hire. You got 7 on your list. Great. You're always great at projecting out who you got to hire, but you don't know the order. Great. We just figured it out. Copywriter, first hire. Post it now. Bring somebody on in January. It's November 12th as we're recording this. It's going to take some time to find the right person. So you post now. January, Mark's now not doing copy. You got somebody great on board. I'll be so amazing too. Jesus, for my stuff. You need a superstar to do the copy. Frees up your time to do the other stuff. Like if that's it's not the bottleneck on you right now. Great. Because the honest answer is, it doesn't really matter what the order is. If you know what your 3
I know
are,
that's why I don't want to spend this valuable time I have with you and all of our listeners arguing about the order of who to hire. It's more a question of, is now in this season, in this world that we're living in now, the time
hire the next person
to take gambles on yourself.
Why not? Not to this.
No. That's the right question, because I've spent the last 6 months believing that I am not the person to take a gamble on.
Then don't
all summer, all fall.
But
I was like, I'm not the person to take a gamble on.
Then you close the whole thing down. Well, but that's not that. Then we don't have version A or B. It's still the wrong question. Now you've got no company. If you're not the guy to take a gamble on, we don't have a business. What are you building?
No, I believe now that
I know, but that's still a different question. If you're not the guy to build it, there is no A or B. There's no company. It doesn't exist. If you're not the guy to take the chance on it, you're the leader. You're the founder. You have to be the guy. So great. Now you're the guy. What do you do next year? What do I do next year is the question. And you want to go A or B, and I'm telling you it's A.5. That's the right question. Hire the first person. If you know the first 3, great. Then put out a job ad for the first one. That's what you should do. But right now, not wait 5 weeks. What are we doing? We're overthinking. Post the ad right now. Free up your time to go do more great things, because you're the guy that we're all betting on, right? And we believe it because we're in our up mode.
Sure. That's the Something Unproved podcast, everyone.
If you want to hear us talk about Mark again, check out the video right there next to us. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe. We'll see you there.